How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers. Gratitude to anyone new. Welcome along. This video, we're going to be talking about how to throw a jab. All right, it's going to be a beginner's guide for you, the beginner, to understand exactly how to throw the jab. It's the most important punch in the sport. I'm going to be in the gym. Right. Relax your shoulders a bit too, but it's important to keep a good stance and jab from here. So I'm not leaning in, bringing myself closer to you, basically, right? With a client and friend of mine, Joshua, shout out to you. Thank you very much for letting me film. Jab, jab. We're going to be going step by step on, exactly what to do, what mistakes you're making, what impact you need, what the trajectory. We're going to be a very detailed video. I'm going to be dropping a lot of footage from clips from myself, clips from Joshua, clips from me here. I'm jabbing here, running you through it, so you, the beginner, by the end of the video will have a firm understanding of how to throw a jab, and hopefully you can apply yourself and get going in the gym so you can perfect your technique as well. That's what it's all about. Let's go.
Boxing.
All right, hopefully the lighting is okay for you guys. I'll do my best to give different camera angles as I'm out here, because we're in this little baseball pitch today. We've got to make the most of it, but let's get started, right? Okay, a jab, right? First of all, whatever punch you're throwing or whatever you are doing, you need a very good stance, right? And I'm going to make another video on the stance. I've already made one. I'll leave the link in the description and up here. This is imperative, You need to be relaxed, you need to have a good stance, and you need to have good balance, right? And that's all part of having a good stance. Again, a good stance is vital when you're punching, period, but especially with the jab, it kicks the shoulder out right here. Pow! Good. Parts of this video where I'm going to just be speaking on stuff, I'll drop in the clip and the live session that we had to try to, give you an idea so you can put yourself in his shoes. Keep your stance a little bit more narrow, that's it. You don't want to be like this, because one, I'm too square on, two, it's going to mess the technique up a little bit. Being like this is setting the shoulder up, helping the shot shoot straight, and when you have that on your rib cage right there, that's going to help with the trajectory as well. And you can, essentially emulate what is happening. So get a good stance, stay nice and relaxed, elbows on the rib cage, hands on your cheekbone, relax your shoulders and get good balance, right? Now, when you're throwing a jab, it's the most important punch in the sport, right? So it's really important that you get this one good, because you're gonna really need it. It's gonna really, really, really make you a better boxer immediately if you get a good jab. Now, there's a few elements of the jab I'm gonna talk about. Obviously, we've got the trajectory. Being like this is setting the shoulder up, helping the shot shoot straight. And when you have that on your rib cage right there, that's gonna help with the trajectory as well. Good. Now, if you talk about why and how you get a good trajectory, right, a big part of that is having a good stance, but you're having your elbows on your rib cage. I've talked about this many times. Having this elbow here helps create a straighter jab, right? If you're starting out here, it's gonna end here, right? That's fairly obvious. So really important that you get a good trajectory on the jab. It's important that you keep the jab straight too, right? Shoot it straight like that. So you're just gonna shoot it straight. Turn the punch over a little bit, beautiful. Keeping that hand right there. So jab, a straight jab. You're trying to shoot it through your opponent's gloves like this for the most part, right? And so by doing that, a straight shot down the middle is always helpful. Keeping it straight helps with the power too. If I'm shooting straight like that, the energy travels through my body and through, boom, like that, right? The energy travels through here. So from your foot all the way through here, the alignment, the joints, the power, boom, right? Okay, and when you're keeping it straight, the energy is transferred through your toe to your fist, right? That's, one of the many reasons you want to keep it straight, but it's good technique, especially for a beginner. You want everything just to flow through here, bam, jab, jab. Now, the impact of a punch is extremely important, and it doesn't get spoken about that much, but I'm going to elaborate on it right now, because you need to have a good snap on the shot, right? You don't want to just punch like this and have an arm punch, right? You want a bit of shoulder rhythm. but you want that snap and that pop. Boom, right? Very important. Nice there. And then the impact, the little snap is a really important part. We'll get into that right now. And when you feel that snap and you feel the impact, right back to your chin. Yeah, and that's it. Beautiful. Let me just zoom in for this one to really show you, because the snap is like, boom. There's a little pop at the end. Boom. See the shoulder pushes forward like that. Bam. All right, snap it, and when you feel that impact, you bring it right back to your chin. You punch from your chin, and you bring it right back to your chin. This is really important, all right? So it's bam, all right? Boom, snap, snap, snap. From your chin, impact. Don't leave it out there, okay? You don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to do this either. This is what you call a lazy jab, and you're bringing it slowly back to your chin. Right back to your chin, right? Protect yourself. Boom. So the trajectory, the impact, having it come back to your chin, starting from your chin, having a good stance, being relaxed. It seems like a lot right now. Perhaps it is, but there's a lot of stuff you can actually do, you know, like keeping your hands on your chin, like having a good trajectory, like being relaxed. I know that's not that simple, but you can at least think about it. And you know, all these things, a lot of these things you can definitely do today, promise you. You just got to apply yourself a little bit and get the practice going and understand what you're doing. And hold it there, that's it. You want that here, all the power travels through there, straight arm, all the power is coming from right here too. This is a good stance, right here. You just drive that, boom, right into someone's face. Yeah. So just to give you an idea of like this channel too, obviously I like to have live sessions with beginners, but as you can see this clip right now where I'm in the gym, my mentor, Don Saxby, comes up to the gym, he's watching, he's giving me advice and pointers and stuff, and this happens on a daily basis, you know. Sometimes I'll be on one side of the gym and he'll just shout out, oh, he's like, keep his hands up like that, and I'm like, where the hell did he come from?
Not like this. Your hands facing the floor. Much right, one side, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll feel the, yeah. And yeah, these two knuckles, that's what you want to go for. The front, those two knuckles, that's what you punch with. Beautiful. He's watching everything, is what I mean, and he's there to give me advice, and he's been a massive inspiration to me since I walked into that gym, and he really helps me, along with, you know, basically someone I consider a father, Jihad Abdul Aziz, he's trained world champions. These guys are at top level, and that basically amongst most of the people in that gym are at a very high level, and that's, you know, I'm honored and grateful to be picking their brains and being, you know, helped by those guys to help you guys, basically. So he came along and he was, you know, saying to turn the punch over a little bit, and we'll talk about that. Turning the punch over, you don't really want to do this, right? That's turning the punch over. You don't have to go crazy with it, right? Just turn a knuckle over. This is what's going to create something called torque, right? This is like the rhythm. The turning of your punches is torque, right? But you can do it with the jab, boom, like that. See the twist right there? Boom. That's torque. And that's how you know, well, amongst other things, but turning your punch over is going to help with the torque. And that's what Don came over to help me out with. He's always checking in on, you know, how the beginners, he runs that gym basically from a discipline standpoint. And, you know, he's got very high standards. So, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm honored to him to come over and help me, you know, drop any gems that he can at the time. So that was that. So we got all these elements coming together now that I've mentioned. And, you know, basically creating a good jab. And now, mistakes you're going to be making when you're throwing a jab, right? There's a few common ones. One is the trajectory. One is dropping your hands before you move it. You don't want to move it before you throw it, right? This is really important. When you're punching, you don't want to give your opponent any tells at all. So there's just no movement right here. I've got a saying, don't move it until you need to move it, basically. If you're moving it around like this and cocking it back or loading it up, that's a punch tell. So you want to just shoot it straight like that with as little, you know, information as possible. You've got to keep it still here and then shoot it and right back. Boom, right? The more you move it, the more you're letting your opponent know you're going to punch, and they're going to understand this, and it's going to give them more time to react to your jab. For example, if I push the jab down and then move it forward, that little push down is called a punch tell. They're going to see that and they're going to react, you know, they're going to know. Then I already talked about it, a lazy jab, bringing it back here, you know, or taking it time to come back. You want to right back to your cheek, right, or the chin. That's important. There's another thing called a bow and arrow jab, right, where I'm jabbing like this. Let me do it from this side. And then this comes down, right? Your right hand, it's got to stay here. The tendency is to drop that, right, a little bit. You don't drop it much, but it's a little bit. And it's just a very common mistake, especially when jabbing. It's important. Actually, I actually noticed that because a lot, you see, pros still do it. It's called a bow and arrow jab, right? So this gets dropped a little bit because you look like you're throwing a bow and arrow, right? But it drops like that, but you're so open for a left hook. Devin Haney got caught with a left hook from Ryan Garcia in that fight because he dropped that. When you drop that, you look like you're throwing a bow and arrow, right? That's why it's called a bow and arrow jab. But you got to keep this here, right? Jab here. I'm keeping this right here. No matter where I go. I'm jabbing here. Yeah, I'm jabbing here. This is glued to my cheek. And that is it for today. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. And as I said, try to be the best version that you can possibly be. That's what this channel is about. That's what my ethos is about. That's what I'm trying to do in my life. That's what I'm trying to project onto you guys. You know, really put the time in, put the effort in. There's no point in watching a full video, whoever's teaching you, and then you not applying yourself, you know. And yeah, you can absorb some information, certainly, but it's the application of going out, practicing, shadow boxing, you know, re-watching some videos, applying what you're doing. Okay, are my hands up? Am I relaxed? Do I have a good stance? Is my hand coming back to my chin? All this stuff, you know, you can definitely do it today. Anyway, I'm gonna get this video edited. As always, massively appreciate you guys. Peace. I'm out of here. My name's Henry, Boxing on the Edge. Please subscribe if you are interested in more videos like this, but it's got to come from here, you know. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it. It's got to come from here. Everything's got to come from here. I'm out. A few simple things to do with a good jab, you know, punch from the chin, keep it straight, turn the knuckle over a little bit, don't lean in, don't reach, and have a nice impact. Jab, hands up, jab, jab. Because it has so many different uses, so many variety of ways you can use it, but one of the big ways to use it is to help set up the other punches, right? If you're trying to set up that that backhand, I'm going to step in, boom. So step in with 2 jabs and throw across. Boom, beautiful. Again, a good stance is vital when you're punching, period, but especially with the jab, it kicks the shoulder out right here. Wow. Good. Boom, 1, 2. Good. Jab. Jab. See the difference? You're gonna boom, boom, boom. It's like a piston. Boom. Keeping it straight, good stance. And if you're out here, you're stepping in with the jab, you can push off the back foot. Boom. A lot of that comes with the right stance, right? Because your shoulder's already here. Boom. Jab. 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 Man, I swear someone's eating like a curry around here, right? Yeah. I was like, where's that curry? It smells good though, doesn't it? Where's that coming from? Jab. Beautiful. That's it. There you go, bro. There we go. Relaxing your shoulders is a critical thing in boxing, period, but when punching too, because it's going to mess up the trajectory, right? If I'm like this and tight, you're going to be burning energy, you're going to be more tired. So just relaxing like this, like that, nice and simple. Yeah, hands up. That's it, beautiful.
Boxing.
On it is.